Okay, issue number 28 is Stormbringer, and I'm going to put this as simply as possible. This is what I love in life, and it's basically anything goblinoid, and particularly anything, in this case, Gloomspire Gates. But obviously, for those of you who are used to Old Hammer or play Warhammer Total War, night goblins, which are absolutely cool. And I think the aesthetic that they've gone down with Age of Sigmar just really takes that classic night goblin look and then just gives it its own beautiful force. So what we have here is straight away we have a fantastic image of a Gloomspite Git, and then we are going to be looking at Zarbag's Gits in this issue. Again, a named mob. So I like the idea of named mobs. It adds a bit of character to your actual force. So let's have a quick look here and see what we're kind of getting in this force. Well, in the magazine first, and then having a look at the force. So a nice little bit of lore of the Gloomspite Gits, building up that knowledge. Ah, a beautiful page on different types of squigs that you can meet. I love squigs. They're squiggly beasts. They're fantastic. Um, that's actually quite cool how it's showing different, interesting little varieties of squig. So you've obviously got the traditional round ball with legs and a mouth, but then like you've got an example of a winged one, one that looks like a hideous spider squig by the look of it. Some with fungi growing on their back. And I think the good thing about squigs is you can just find them in so many different varieties, and you could just basically, I know it might seem crazy, but you could literally just get a blob of round modelling putty and quite happily carve something into a squig. And people would say, they would be quite happy to say, yeah, it's a squig, whatever kind of squig it is, it's a squig. And that's sort of the kind of charm about the squigs, that they're literally a great big ball with a mouth, and it makes them quite an interesting looking creature, and I really love the squigs. So what we've got here with Sarbag's Gits, by the look of it, is we've got a really nice mob. So I'm just kind of having a look at this. You've got Zarbag himself. He's quite cool, and he himself is quite cool. He doesn't look like a full-blown boss, but he definitely looks like, let's have a look. He's a shaman, so that's really good, yeah? I love a little shaman. And then that's our second shaman, I think, because we've got our Cruel Boy shaman, and now we've got our Gloomspire shaman. Then we've got a couple of different types of actual grot that's with them. So we've got a couple with bows by the look of it, and then we've also got one with a net. Now, moving across there as well, we've got a one that looks like he's got some kind of branded prodder, and one that looks like a ball and chain fanatic. So he's just there with a huge ball and chain, and he's chugging down potions that are going to make him go completely psychotic. Now, it looks absolutely fantastic, the models that are all painted up, and I've got them here. I'm going to go into them in a second, but there's just something so endearing about the models and the way they look. They, as I said, they take all of that classic look of the Night Goblins and just enhance it and bring it forward, and it just sings like it. For someone like myself, seeing something like that just it fills me with like nostalgia. There's no other way to put it. Okay, we got quite a bit of how to build, but also quite interestingly, it looks like every single character in that mob is clearly named. Again, that's something that I like. It's very interesting. As I understand it, I think these and Zandia's Truth Seekers are from, I don't know if it's called Warcry the game, and I think they're from that, and I think the idea behind it is they're named war bands within this sort of skirmish game. So the fact that they've made it so you can just take them and put them into Age of Sigmar as a combatant is fantastic. I really like that. We've got, obviously how to build them. Looks like quite simple build, so hopefully it'll be quite quick to build this unit, even though it's quite a big unit. Moving on to a how to paint process. I will be doing my own personal how to paint on them because I've got an aim with these guys. I want them. I'm seriously considering seeing if I can do the whole of my Gloomspite Gits in other source lighting. So I'm going to see if I can actually make that. It'll mean that parts of the model look very drab, and then you've got like the light hitting them and then colour where the light's hitting them. So I'd love to see if I can pull that off. Okay, and then moving on from there, we've got additional rules. So talking about wounds and things like that. I think, inspiring presence. So again, seems like the ability to use commands and maybe some form of leadership. What else have we got? We've got the War Scrolls for all of the individual, the mob plus Zarbak himself. Again, it looks like, yeah, with the War Scroll, it goes into quite a bit of detail about all the net and everything, the stickers and things like that. So again, that's quite an interesting one. And then we are moving into, let me have a look here. Again, something to look at here. You get a specialised War Scroll for the Fanatic, the one with the big ball and chain. So you can, again, it's creating quite a lot of variety. Now, oh, cool! It actually tells you how to use the Fanatics so that they kind of get launched from another mob. For those of you who never played Warhammer, it was one of the sneaky little things that Night Goblins used to have. You could put Fanatics in the unit and they wouldn't know which unit they were in until they were released, so it was always a bit of fun doing that. Okay, and there we go. We have issue number 28, which I'm putting up, and I love it because it's Grots, and I love it, and it's got a shaman, and I love shamans. So here we go. Just have a quick look. Also, it's got squigs, and I love squigs. In fact, I love everything about the Gloomspite Gits because it is so awesome. And there's what we get. As you can see, we've got a good, very tightly packed sprue. There's loads on it, and as you can see, you've got the different squigs to put together. You've got, as you would expect on a kind of named mob, properly. What's it called now? Detailed bases and things like that. So that's looking really cool, and I really like the look of that. I'm really gonna have fun putting that together. So, from a review point of view, I'm, super happy with issue 28. But I think that's probably more because I'm excited about the models more than anything else. Anyway, thank you for watching, and please watch my next video. What we're coming up quite soon.